What's up, guys? Dr. Dan on here, bringing you Crysis 3 Tips and Tricks, Episode 2. Fuck it, you can just read the title. This is stealth. Good job. You can read. Right. Today we're looking at stealth, and for those of you who haven't seen my previous tips and tricks video, I recommend watching that because I'm not doing a recap. Right, back on track. Stealth, invisibility, cloak, whatever the hell you want to call it. I call it stealth because the stealth module's not the cloak or the invisibility. So yeah, anyway. Stealth is more emphasized in this game than the previous Crysis. Crysis. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but yeah, it's more emphasized, and you can tell this by the Predator bow. Marketed as the ultimate weapon of stealth. Ah, fuck it. I'm just gonna level with you. I really do not like the bow. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you why. The fact that it was marketed as fire it while cloaked, that's true in the campaign, but if you try it on multiplayer, since you have separate armor and stealth modules, if you fire it from stealth, if you fire it fully pulled back from stealth, it takes about half your fucking stealth meter away, so it's not really that useful. If you're firing long range from stealth, sure, you can use it like that, because they probably won't see you once you get out of stealth, but then again, it's two-shot. And that's my second point. It's two-shot if somebody's in armor mode or has auto armor. And since essentially everyone has auto armor, it's basically a two-shot weapon. So, and since it's such a different weapon, if you're thinking it's anything like any other weapon, like a sniper rifle, no, it's completely different to everything, so I would just recommend using the Gauss if you want a two-shot weapon. But that's just my opinion. You might think it's the bee's knees, but I don't find it. Yeah. Anyway, on to more interesting topics. We're gonna talk here about the fucking stealth modules, because that's what they're called, not cloak or invis, like I said. The first stealth module is Phantom. Kind of a useful module. I mean, it's good if you're focusing on really being stealthy and not doing anything else in particular. The first stage is it transitions in and out of stealth faster. So, you know, if you run around a corner, somebody is less likely to see you when they turn around it, if you hide in a bush or whatever. Stage 2 is no sound when entering stealth, so you don't get that you don't get this sound, which is good because then people are less likely to notice that you've gone into stealth. And the third one is reduced shutdown time of stealth when firing from stealth. This means if you fire the bow or any weapon from stealth, when you do that, eventually your stealth will become 0, the meter will go down to 0, and it has a shutdown time where you cannot go back into stealth. This is counterproductive to being a stealthy sniper, or stealthy, so it's good to have that. I'm not using Phantom, even though this is supposed to be my stealth class, because, I mean, I'm using the bow, so I found better perks to use with the bow. I'm using Rapid Fire Pro, Scout, which is the next one I will talk about, and Retriever. Scout. This is a very useful module. Headshot, motherfucker. This is a very useful module because of the following reasons. The first stage, it shows enemy direction, like it does now, when people are tagged or maximum radar is on. Which is very good, because you can sneak up behind people and you know it's behind them, not just their character is there. The second one is radar sweep. To get to the second one, you have to get 200 kills with Scout equipped, and the second ability is radar sweep on respawn. This means that when you respawn, you get a single radar sweep to tell where enemies are on the map, which is useful. But the most useful part is, especially if you're using the bow, Phase 3, which is health bar is shown above enemies. What this means is you get to see your enemy's health, which is very useful with the bow, because then you can judge how far you need to pull back the bow. Generally, I pull it back fully because, you know, I have whatever the fuck it's called, RavenProDesign Pro, but it's still very useful. Third, and kind of cheesy on the name, is Hunter. Supposed to be paired with the bow because, honestly, you know, it's a good pair, and it makes you really feel like you're a predator when you use those two. Anyway, the abilities, the fucking perk thing, I don't know, what is it called? Things gives you are it makes no footstep or suit noises when moving. So, you know, when I was talking about whatever the fuck it was called, the, I don't know, Phantom, where you don't have any suit noise when going into stealth, this kind of supersedes that because it makes you have no suit noise anyway, so might as well go with Hunter if you're going for Phantom for that reason. The second one is uncloaked enemy footsteps are highlighted on the ground, so you get to see where people have been or where they are going. And, you know, that's very good because then you can reroute your route to find them and destroy them. The third one is directional update on footsteps extended range. So this means the footsteps are longer, so longer range, I don't know, longer trail, that's it. So you get to see if they've been in a certain place for longer than a certain way. I don't know. You know what I mean. 4 out of 5 is surveillance. I can recommend using this on a bow or a sniper class as to identify the enemy easier. I use it on my Gauss class because I, you know, gonna be looking down the sights a lot, so might as well. Fucker die. The stages highlight enemy weapons through scopes, so that's not looking at them out of scope. You do have to be looking down a scope. This includes iron sights. The second one is auto tag enemies when looking down the scope for the entire team. So you know when you go into binoculars or the visor or whatever it's called in this game, and you tag somebody, it means exactly that, they are tagged, except you just do it looking down the sights, so that's very useful. And the third one is kind of counter of itself. You can't be tagged by the enemy, so it helps you with tagging, and then it makes sure you can't get tagged, which is useful if somebody on the enemy team is using the recon arrow, or they are trying to tag people. Last and probably most versatile of the stealth is, since it can be used in the most variety of situations, is low profile. This is basically the anti-kill streak module. The first level, it provides protection from maximum radar, so when the enemy gets radar, they don't tag you, so you can go about your business. Level 2 is no heat signature in nanovision, so if somebody's using nanovision, they can't see you. This isn't an anti-kill streak, but, you know, they couldn't say you can't be killed by Predator, no, not Predator, from Orbital Strike, otherwise you'd be, you know, fucking OP or something. The third one is evade alien gunship targeting, so don't get killed by the alien gunship, which is, you know, a blessing unto itself. Because if an enemy gets a gunship, it's basically everyone has to be inside, and if you're on the map, like this one, where there's only 2 buildings, and one of the buildings doesn't have a roof, you're fucked. So that is all these stealth modules, and, you know, now I'm going to talk about how I use stealth. When I use stealth, I'm trying to get better at this, but when I use stealth, I generally don't start off in stealth. I don't immediately start the game and press E. Because, you know, that's a waste of stealth. You should only use stealth when... Fuck, I can't hit this bitch. You should only use stealth when you're near enemies and you want to sneak up on them. You shouldn't do it to avoid them at long range. I mean, if you run around far away from enemies, and if a sniper is going to see you, he's going to see you, but he probably won't be able to hit you. You know, there's always the chance that he's a good sniper, but generally snipers won't be able to hit you, so you don't need to go stealth long range. And in fairness, I'll admit that I do this, and I'm trying to get better at it, using stealth objectively thinking, all that stuff. But yeah, that's my recommendation of how to use stealth. Also, don't use stealth when you're being shot at, unless you can get away easily after you've been shot. Otherwise, you're gonna have less health, I'm pretty sure, or you're just gonna have the normal health, which is shitty. Unless auto armor does not go into effect if you are in stealth. So for those of you that do use auto armor, and I frown upon that, but those of you that do, if you use stealth and then are relying on auto armor, it will not work. So just remember that. Fucking shoot through a building. Anyway, this has been Dr. Danon. Hope you have enjoyed.